Alright, let's have a talk. How do I change my voice like that? It's simple. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want people doing it, but every once in a while, you'll get a comparison on the internet or on TV or 60 minutes or 20 minutes, or I used to have a site called FKUAS, which stood for F you asshole. And what it is uh, a person said they figured out how to do something. And what it is some kids, when you're born, alright, and I'm going to talk about Dodge here in a minute to answer a question, but when you're born and they take a knife and cut that umbilical cord, most say you're severed from your mother, okay, because we know you ain't severed from, well, you are severed from your father, uh, and whatnot, but that's not your father, okay? That's why they're called biological males. And when you say biological males, you can't say laboratory. So if you say this is a biological laboratory, you can't call it a biological laboratory because you already used that word already on biological male, okay? And whatnot. So how do we straighten a problem out? And I'm talking about the person who caused the problem back in 1984. 1984, someone tried out of body with the intent to separate another person, which just so happens to be the one speaking that you attempted this on. Under the age of 13, under the age of 8, going to the age of, I believe, 5 or 6 at this time, or already at the age of 6. What the problem of it is, okay, in the business you're in, it really does affect things. When you look on YouTube and everything, you see a car going down the highway and the guy says, I just lost my freaking brakes. No shit, because it doesn't work. So Chevy, Dodge, Oldsmobile, and Chrysler, let's start talking about truth. We all know the truth. I knew the truth at 6 years old, having an IQ well over 1,000, because that's what I tested. And when you say, oh, that's impossible, no, man does not, nor woman does not set the standard on what that ratio number was. History is a waste of time to settle on IQ, okay? And the reason is, unless I'm a historical major, which the files you found, that you try to say, oh, we're going to base this on IQ. No. Unless I'm in college or I'm in school and I want to be a historian, that's the only time I'm going to know that BS beyond the light and touch of history through. Normally you get it roughly right around 2nd to 3rd grade to 12th grade, not required to graduate 11 and 12 legally by law. 10th grade, you finish 10th grade, you can legally quit with a general education, which is also academic, if you know what academic is. Academic means that you're an active person inside a high school to a middle school to an elementary school. In all sense and forms, let's get our definition straight by the first definition. That second and third definition does not count. It's what people wanted it to be. So when someone was sitting down saying, what does asshole stand for? Let's see. Two cheeks, slang. I believe there is 2 butts. We all know if you have 2 butts, you're a butt head twice. But anyway, so it says butt cheeks and it says clavicin, which some say that's another word for butt, but just in another language. And we all know the differences in what a butt can be called by 3 different things. Not the things I'm actually referring to. Some refer to them as your buttocks, your butt, and your clavius. You can't say clavius because clavius, I believe off the top of my head, is referred to your throat that connects to your tongue, okay? And when this happens, it's interesting, is when we get definitions mixed up. So I'm going to say Pennsylvania College of Technology, you're all associates at 4 years. Because we know one thing, you don't get a bachelor's degree in business by 2 years, and you sure hell don't get a technology by computers in 4 years, or a business in 4 years. By the simple thing of saying, well, let's play around with the play around with the scheduling. So we'll do 2 years of technology, 2 years of business. You're still double associate. So stop filling out the bachelors, because every time you take them over to Europe, I'm just going to simply take my big old rubber stamper, and mainly someone else is going to do it because I'm actually here right now, and they're going to stamp denied on your certificate or degree. Let's talk about degree. How well do you want them incinerated? By medium or rare or well done? Exactly. Masters? I doubt it. And you're not the only one I'm picking on, because Harvard reinstated has also made this mistake. It's one of the largest mistakes out there. But the largest mistake, since I now got your attention, is this. And that big problem with the world is people trying to experiment beyond being a person. I want to be a better person. Well, let me tell you this. What would happen if I took a 12-gauge shotgun or a knife or a bow and arrow, and you can take your pick of whatever weapon, and I knew where you were invisibly because you screwed up. You played around, you went out of body, if it's capable, and you messed with someone. So all of a sudden we get this investigational case file, and all of a sudden we have a murder happening in a crime scene. And what happens is the possibility of being able to slit a person's throat twice in exactly the same spot. So let's figure out how we do this. First, if I can take the person, and I'll use the location that they tried to mess with me on, is in Trout Run. If I take the person, I take a heated bladed knife. That means I took a blowtorch to it, and it's red cherry hot, but I still got the edge on it, and I just slit whatever that invisible thing is to strike out at them. It is possible within a period of a decade to 20 years that cut may end up on you. It will self-heal quick. But let's say I really, really, really want to inflict a deep wound with this invisible imposter who's moving things around. So I inflict a really deep cut. And I mean, I'm talking an inch. What I can do with this, if I'm a murderer or a killer, I can go find out what the physical form is of this person. When I find out the physical form of this person, and I find out, and then boom, that cut hits their throat, and they go down, and they're like, ah, physically, now I can walk up and chloroform you. We all know what chloroform is. But if you really knew what chloroform was, is how chloroform works beyond the nice smell it has, is it's actually chlorine, high-powered chlorine. And what happens is it puts over your mouth with a sleep agent, and the idea of chloroform is to stick it on your tongue, and both things happen simultaneously. The high-powered chlorine hits you and knocks you out, just like a sniffing salt. You ever have a sniffing salt test? Someone snaps a sniffing salt in front of you, boom, you're awake. You're like, oh. But this isn't the other way this would work. But if you take a sniffing salt and wave it in front of someone's nose too long, they will pass out. But anyway, beyond my kind of weird way of thinking, this actually happened. But not the cut. And I can say the cut because I had a few cuts up on my arm and then self-heal within a few days. I never had a knife in my hand. I didn't cut myself. Okay, so someone's screwing around in Trout Run. Now, with this train of thought, if I can't inflict real deep pain on people and whatnot in the location I'm at, then you must go to the physical location. But the fact of it is that it's capable of happening is why you're seeing people go down. So Williamsport Hospital, that question is answered. Thank you. Someone, okay, let's say for example, you're at work, you're a male, and all of a sudden you get this hard on. And I'm talking about below on your hip region where that other thing is. And you got a hard on, you're like, yeah, man, and whatnot, and all of a sudden it goes away. But now you're looking at the girl next to you who has her shirt just a little bit lower than it's supposed to be, or her bustier a little too high on her bra, and then you're sitting there talking about what the heck. And then let's just say by chance someone screwed with her too, so they made her perky, and that's, I know that's a wrong word, but they made her perky, and now it's going through her bra and through her shirt. You're horny, or was horny. She's getting there. So, this would be what's often called in British terms as well as American terms, assault. 1. 2, it's harassment, but on top of that, it's a form of where law does cover, which is the funny part, not self-infliction of pain, but, shit, that's all those laws I have out there right now. I'll get back to that, but anyway, you're breaking the law by messing with this invisible thing. So a lot of people would say, a lot of people went back, found what I was talking about by retracing their steps where they lived. And you get this guy then knocking on your door and whatnot, and saying, you know, I might have left something behind. And they use figuratively a lie, but not a lie. And what happens is they mess with you. Some would say witchcraft works. No. Can you be brainwashed in the sense of hypnosis? Yes. To a certain point by suggestion. Okay. But now we're going back to the case file and everything. So if this person can be hypnotized, they can be legally cut or hurt to make the physical part fall or falter, okay? And a sense of, you know, passing out or just fainting or... Okay, now we go from a planned and plotted assault on someone. And let me put it this way. It's just not on people who have criminal records. It's on people that don't have criminal records. But yet the cops won't do nothing. You go down, I followed, I think, 3 police reports against the person for this. Nothing happened. No case outcome, no nothing. Filed an FBI report, nothing happens. Not, I mean, you guys didn't even send an email back and say, what the fuck? You want to explain a little bit more? Or even sit down at the local office and how about you write out a complaint, which is the legal form? Okay, now let's get back to the bigger topic. That's just an example of a topic, okay, with a real life thing happening. But let's get back to the real point. If someone could run your Social Security out by doing this process, which is truthful because it's already been done, and sit there and online just typed out, well, credit card, boom, 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 you've been accepted, approved, good, sent it to this, Mr. Whatever lives here, and you ignore every place that you had to run into a person and went to an ATM, you could clear out $3,000 worth of credit with no problem. You could cross jump from the North Canada, America, which is not now, but was the United States, because this experiment is over, as far as with names on a country, and go to Africa. Now, if you're really, really smart, you get a group, a gang, or an association, organization, and you make it a mission. You just flat out state, I'm going to war. Okay? So you got, let's say, the UGM, they call it United Gospel Mission. That's the easiest name to pick on. But at the same time, you hear them say that, then you hear in United Gospel Ministry. Okay, well, one, you need to be definitionally correct with, are you a mission? Because only soldiers, last time I checked, go on missions. Then you get to some of the other prerogatives, missionaries, which is a nice way of saying mission. Missionary is not a soldier. Okay, it's a made-up word to explain that I'm going to a mission. And when you say mission, and sometimes you check the backgrounds on some of these people, they have military backgrounds. So they're either losing it, or they're trying to gain more financial statuses. So how does this work if they can steal your credit card? Well, simple. I got my credit card. Let's first say, for an example of a reference, I got your social. So I run a check on, because you don't give anything about your credit card, your status. You don't check, and I know this because maybe I'm your friend. It does get that close and whatnot. So now, what I'm taking your credit card and I'm running up $5,000. I wait, and maybe even when time is good, I wait until that disintegrates in 7 years, and I run up another $5,000. But at the same time, I'm thinking this is an inside job, because when this is an inside job, the only person that has that status would be someone as a soldier. So now you need an insider inside the military who has communication statuses. Not hard to do. It's been all over the newspaper. Military soldiers selling stuff back in 1960s, 1970, 1980, selling stuff right out of the warehouse. So do you have a country here? No. Or are your soldiers more thieves than good? Well, let's just hope they're good, because if they ain't good, they're running out there and they're fighting war. That means that general that you just ordered your little tiny little platoon or group in with, the such, is the possibility that this friendly fire wasn't friendly fire, dude. Okay? And no, I didn't have anyone die recently in the military. So this friendly fire all of a sudden became, okay, whatever ministry that's a mission wanted me to put a bullet because you're a pain in the ass. You're getting too close to the truth of what might be uncovering something, and it's non-military, by the way, of a civilian status, or non-military, but it's a civilian status. I don't want this guy in my way, so I can run his social. So a friendly fire, you shoot him, you cripple him. He goes to whatever treatment center or whatever health organization. They go in there and they start talking to the people, and they do maybe a little bit out of body and pull a person, if it's possible. But if that's possible, we have a problem. I've showed you a lot of investigational files online that look like videos or movies, and that's one proof, done by the British Intelligence Agency. So yeah, so much for calling 911. You didn't get a bad guy just yet. So let's go back to it. So now we got this person inside the military, which the military was informed in 1988 and 1989 and 1991, 1993 by myself, that you have insiders inside your military popping your own soldiers in the head. Tell you how far that went with the United States military. Investigational file, tap, 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 complaint, maybe, no, threw it in the garbage. So now we got 3,838 people dead, just out of Iraq. Would they have died, is the question. No, I can answer that, and I even got proof to back it. With the fact of your missions, your faith and your belief in God. Don't cover it up with Lord Jesus Christ, who's already dead. Don't go out and try to make another look-alike with skin pop-ups and all that other crap that got taken out of Germany or Russia or Czechoslovakia to sit there and make your belief fly. Now the other question of it is this. Okay, so if the military is killing the military, and the question was asked, then how do you know this from being outside and not in the military? Simple. The media puts one thing up, you confirm. When I look at armygo.com and I request all the files from you. Now you're either lying to me or you're telling me the truth, so pick your your BS on that, because this investigation ain't going away. So they pick their BS, as I like to refer to it, out of your SMS messages and instant messages and your text messages. So now we know one thing, that major in the military is a piece of shit, because he don't care. So most are going to sit there and say, hold on a second, I'm going to hit stop for now, and we'll be on another video.